coming at you from 1,000 feet below the city of Los Angeles. It's two fags. Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day Beyonce.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love. It's 90-day gays. Let's love. Y'all, this is 90-day gays. First of all, we need to address the elephant in the room.
Are you calling me fat? Are you calling me fat?
I was only going to say, and that's not Mattie.
Y'all, this is a bonus episode.
First of all, let us say, y'all, we are fine.
We are recording this on Thursday night, and just some of you know.
We've just had for the city of Los Angeles, and I think for the whole state
of California,
has just announced a quote-unquote safer at home. So you shouldn't go out if it's not essential, like for the grocery store, pharmacy, things like that. That's kind of what we were doing already. Mattie can't go to work anymore. So
I was having to go to work because, y'all, one thing I've learned, I have cubicle security because those attorneys, they don't have to go in. But when you pay the bills, you're the backbone.
That's true.
Shit happens.
It's
us and IT people. It was some nerdy kid named Gary who probably has a big dick but never
just a pizza face.
Yeah. So he's sweet though. So,
ask Gary for like IT questions.
But now I'm not going to work anymore. So
and I'm doing all Skype stuff. Doing all Skype lessons.
Jake and I are healthy.
We're
we
fine.
do not feel sick.
I've got food. I've got hand sanitizer. I got a shit ton of toilet paper.
He had sex yesterday, so he's going to be good for about a week. And then
4 days.
4 days he's going to be feeling it.
Then I'm going to need to do something. I was just going to say, I was really wanting one of those emergency corona test kits, and I could just like check them as they come in the door.
Y'all, I think Poodle,
stick out your tongue.
If you've got a good butt vibrator or I always say his name wrong, Bill Bullware.
I don't know.
You know he's got a vibrating butt thing. Send Poodle some recommendations, y'all.
All I know is I prefer.
But don't send it to our P.O. box if you buy him something because we can't check it. You'd have to send it to his house.
And Mavis in the P.O. box place isn't going to know what to do with it. She'll probably use it on herself.
Use it on herself. But we are fine. So as far as shows going forward, we're good, y'all. We're hoping
the
that I can
podcast
come
will
over.
continue regardless.
I live very close to Poodle, and as Poodle suggested, if the police stop me, I can say I'm going to walk a dog. It's a poodle. That's what I'm going to try to say. But if not, we'll record episodes via Skype, so it'll be better than China because at least we'll have internet.
At least, yeah, it'll be my internet, which is much better than the Chinese internet.
After China, pandemic won't stop us.
We can do anything after China.
We can. So
fucking China, y'all. That internet was really hard to get.
It was. So
remember when I was in the hotel lobby?
Oh God! And they were playing. I just like the Star Trek theme.
And it was like, ding, 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 ding,
yeah.
ding,
and she's like, I'm not trying to be racist. That was
no,
just the music.
That's exactly
what
it
it's
was.
And it was just so loud. I'm like, what the fuck? So we're doing the bonus episode. We're excited. So y'all, we are here to spread some joy.
We're here, y'all. This is time. You guys have come at us and saying that like, you're home with your husband and your kids and your fucking dog
And your cat is pissed.
And your cat
off.
is like
They're like, why the fuck are you
trying
not
to,
going
like,
to work so I can be alone?
kill himself.
Oh, they're just they're just rough. So,
but like we know, and hopefully you're using this as an outlet, and you don't slit your husband's throat in the night. Don't do that.
and look, y'all, Poodle said this, and someone said it hit them, and I'm going to say it again. This is just a moment. This is just a moment of your life. This is not
One
the rest
moment,
of your life.
There's another moment right after this.
And you just need, if you're thinking about your past or thinking about your future, take a breath and just think about the moment until the next moment comes.
And be
we'll
grateful
get through all these moments
and be
together.
grateful for that moment.
Yes, exactly.
God, we're so LA woo-woo.
And
I want to stab myself.
You are pretty gross. So we just want to remind y'all that. So this is a bonus episode for Friday.
Okay, y'all, we asked our Patreon members to come at us and give us Gatreons.
Are we recording? We are. Just making sure.
And give us, we're both drinking, by the way. It's been that kind of day.
I had to clean out my cubicle in one day because we heard the governor shutting down. And Poodle, y'all, so his laundry's in a basement. So I never know if Poodle's doing laundry or if he's just like fucked a football team. Just the defense.
Just the offensive line.
Just the offensive line.
He's not a whore.
He's not a whore, y'all. And so I walk in there and I say, well, hello. And he looks at me and he is soaked.
I'm soaked
Like
and I'm annoyed like an Irish washerwoman.
He's sweating like a drunk Irish person in a bar who's
And I'm
drinking.
like, the washer broke.
She was not happy.
And so I was grabbing towels and other such things, sundry items, out of the washer that was still dirty water and wringing them out. And I just threw a bunch of shit away because I didn't want to have to put it in the dryer.
I don't blame you.
But yeah, it was very, very annoying.
So
I don't know if my apartment manager will fix it either.
We'll see.
I guess I'll be wearing rose for the foreseeable future.
You'll be like Rufus Wainwright.
Ooh. Y'all, you need to, if you like Rufus Wainwright, he is on Facebook
and Instagram.
Doing a daily song, and he's in a caftan / kimono.
And he sounds so beautiful.
His voice is the same.
He is the same. You know what I think? We didn't talk about this, but I just decided this right now, and I'm going to have Jackie.
Great.
I'm going to have Jackie start it.
I
just
love
because
impromptu.
Some of the sissies said this. Y'all, and y'all can start this yourselves, or maybe we'll start a thread. But we do have a lot of sissies who are having to be in their homes, and we have a lot of sissies that are alone, that are by themselves. So if you want to FaceTime with someone or Skype with someone, because there's a difference of talking to someone in the camera, please use our Sissy Squad Facebook. Please use that. This is not a place for men to show their junk, y'all.
Nope.
But so tell us and we'll report them. But really use our community to reach out and connect to other people. We have a coronavirus thread, but for the most, that is specific. So put all your corona shit there, y'all.
Yeah, there's Corona Corner is active.
Corona Corner. It's an announcement. You'll see it at the top. Any other stuff, because not everybody wants to see it, put all the other fun stuff there. But maybe, I'll talk to Jackie. Maybe there's a way of doing that, of people that, if you just say, hey, I want to Skype with somebody because I haven't talked to someone in 2 days and face-to-face.
And that's a thing, y'all.
So y'all do that. You do that.
They're like virtual happy hours.
Yeah.
Explore the internet. It's hard enough not looking at porn these days. I think that is the one industry that will come out as to be the savior of mankind.
Porn's going to blow up.
Good for them.
Good for
them.
Sean Cody.
I'm proud for them. No, they're the worst now. The best one is Cocky Boys. That's surpassed
I thought that was
all
too
the others.
Artistic for you.
It is too artistic for me.
I like Tim Tails because they're like big dicks and they just come on.
They're just European and just like slamming the other one. There's no story.
There's no story. I don't need a story.
It's just straight fucking.
I don't need anything. Anyway,
they don't even kiss each other, y'all. They just go right. They just start fucking.
So, anyway, for the rest, a couple more things, and then we'll jump into our question. So, one, for those of you that are on Gatreon, we're releasing till April 15th. we're going to releasing all of our Patreon content to every tier is going to be on the level 5
tier is on the $5 level.
So that will include,
which includes the $15.
It'll include our Buy Curious episode coming in April. It includes you'll get Love Is Blind, the regular old 90 Days, and our watch alongs, which now are a 30-minute edited for your pleasure.
Edited for your pleasure.
Basically, we took out all the boring stuff, and then our wonderful sissy, who's on the team now, Christina De Leon, who's now on the sissy team.
Yes,
she is helping us with that and editing.
And so, if you decided that me just staring slack-jawed at a scene with Angela
boring as fuck
wasn't interesting, I thought it was, but I understand it.
But I read him for it. And then he said the part where I'm staring and my lazy eye goes crazy just made his stomach nauseous.
Yeah, his lazy eye. Yo, I'm dealing with it every day.
So, anyway, that's edited for your pleasure to 30 minutes now. Ooh. It's like a little sitcom.
Oh.
So, anyway.
Except without the laugh track. It's just all laughter.
We should put one in. No, don't. So, anyway, that is all in the Gatreon, and it will be until April 15th. Poodle and I are already talking to y'all. We're going to be doing extra content on this podcast. We're probably going to be...
a bonus episode next week.
Yeah, we're probably going to be trying to do a bonus episode now every
Friday. What else have we got to do?
What the fuck are we going to do? So, bear with us. We are coming at you.
You can't jerk off 8 hours a day.
At least with one hand, we think. So anyway, y'all, that was a long preamble to say we love you and we're here for you.
You know, because this is the time we all need to come together and come on each other.
Wow. Yeah, I'm telling you, once they release California, ooh,
it's gonna be like a Tasmanian devil of bucking.
There's a neighbor with a short fence, and he's just gonna go sit on every post. Everyone.
Woo! As soon as they keep those apps open.
All right. So
should we get into it?
Let's jump into our AMAs.
We had some questions, and y'all came at us.
You did.
Okay.
We even some of the comments really came at us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
some of y'all are demanding bitches.
Yeah, we had 33 comments on this post. So someone said, Valerie said, I need more Southern stories. That's going to come. Carrie Hendrickson said, I need to hear the Grandma Hazel doublet story.
That's going to be there. You told it.
I think I told that already. Y'all, let us know what
No, but you are going to hear the chili can story.
You are going to hear the chili can story, and you are going to hear
the story of your aunts running off your former stepmother, Brenda.
Andrea said today that she said, I saw your Aunt Peggy on one of your comments, and I totally fangirled. She was like, she looks exactly like, I think she is beautiful.
Y'all,
I was like, she is beautiful.
Aunt Peggy is amazing. She's everything you think she would be.
Everything you think you should be.
She's very fancy, very fine, refined lady. She'd also cut you if you said anything nasty about her.
She always has makeup, and she always has her nails done, and always smells like Clinique's aromatics. She smells great.
And you wouldn't trust her farther than you could throw her.
No. We also had some guys from Megan Boofy. She says, I'm just going to read some of these. We have time. I'm curious about why Matt is a therapist, but he's a cubicle warrior.
That's a good question.
The reason is because you have to do a lot of free hours in therapy, and that shit doesn't pay.
Amen.
And I needed to make some money, and so I started working more. And then this stuff
She likes nice things, y'all. She likes nice things.
So this will come up more, but anyway. So that's the question.
Does it smell like popcorn?
Okay, we're gonna put.
Sorry, my microphone smells like popcorn. I don't know why.
Mine does it. We're gonna put something to bed right now because Alana Magniant says, "My question: how did you two decide to be best friends without pounding it a few times first?" Look, y'all.
I have sex with women. I don't have sex with women.
I have sex with men. Here's the deal. Just because someone's gay and somebody else is gay does not mean they want to fuck.
That's true.
It's like some girls can be friends with men.
Yeah.
And y'all don't fuck each other.
Sometimes.
And you know how, when I met Poodle, it was when Rose met Blanche. It was just sisters immediately.
It was kind of a thing of convenience.
Really. Yeah. Also, he's the wrong skin color for me. White guys are boring. And secondly, two bottoms. We're like I always say like similar
two magnets,
two positive magnets
like,
or negative that kind of like you try to push them together and then they go no, get
away from me.
That's what we are. So
get away from turn me around and go fuck me.
Evan Schmidt says, have either of you ever been a top?
I have been. I have been. No. Don't laugh.
Don't lie
I've
during
done
the
it.
pandemic.
I swear to God.
He has.
I'm versatile.
I tried it like twice.
And then you like flapped over on your back like a fish and said, is this
like,
how I do it? Is this how I do
that
it?
was hard.
You just try to like put your ass on them.
It's true.
Flopping around like a salmon.
It's true. So
I can make it work in any situation, Evan.
It's true. So we are going to talk about the coma today. I will say Rachel pointed out that if you listen to old Dear Mattie episodes, and there's episode, ironically enough, Jake,
69.
that I'd be curious to see. That's closer to when the coma happened, so Jake probably will remember more.
Yeah.
But I think that's
I'm going to
about
tell
it.
the more like the more Reader's Digest version there, because that was a whole episode.
Yes. So I think that is all there's other comments of just like, ooh, I can't wait. This is going to be fun. Tamisia,
yeah, come on.
Misty,
Go through it.
Candy
Come on.
Anderson. What?
Get through it. I don't care about any of this.
Let's do the questions
Let's
now.
do it.
Okay, so what do you want to start with, Poodle? Do you want to start with the top vote or the lowest vote?
Let's start with something that involves both of us, because I know the coma story is on there.
We'll do this very quickly. This was kind of like a runner-up. The reason why Poodle got his nickname Poodle is just literally Jake and I will talk about this, but Jake and I used to be roommates, and one day he was standing in front of me, and literally
I was just kind of like standing and like putting my hand underneath my chin like Stacy does.
Yes, these weird poses.
I tend to contort myself, y'all.
He does. And
something that makes me feel pretty.
I was literally talking to him about something important, and he was looking at me, nodding his head, and then I said, what do you think? And Poodle said, in dead seriousness, do I look slimmer if I bevel this way or this way? And he beveled on his hip. And I was like, you're like a fucking show poodle who just wants to prance around and be seen.
And this is before he knew that Karen called Jack Poodle on Will and Grace.
True. Because I also used to live with Jake, and if we had a mirror in our house, Jake's better now. He could not stop. He would always stop.
Was really attracted to mirrors.
Yeah, he would just dip and just look in them.
Now I get a skinny mirror.
So that's why we call
I was
Poodle.
Twinkie as fuck.
You were.
I was so thin. I wore a lot of those T-shirts that you guys called halter tops or jalters, Jake halters.
Mm-hmm. They were very short.
God, I was such a twink.
One of our other top getting poll questions, thank y'all for doing our Gatreon poll, was what's y'all's most embarrassing moment in performance or in life?
Ooh.
In life.
Let's talk about our performance one. God, I'm burping like crazy.
Because you ate right before this.
And I ate fast.
You did. I tried to get you to slow down, but he couldn't. It was like Lisa slopping on that dick. Which somebody came at me. Apparently, she was saying Usman needed to go down on her.
Oh.
God bless that man.
Can you imagine? It would smell like the Seattle fish market.
Wow. Yeah. With like a mask, with a mask of like powder fresh summer eve over it, but it just still smells fishy.
Y'all, we've talked about this before, and I stand by this. She is the vilest person alive.
She is vile.
She's so awful.
By the way, 90 Day Fiancé news, the reunion's been canceled.
I think they're going to find a way to do single cameras on people.
I think they do that anyway. So I'm like, why can't they just fucking do it? So
I believe in Matt Sharp.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too, but
she likes her money.
But Cray Cray said it was canceled, so we'll see.
We'll see.
So anyway, probably the most embarrassing moment.
I think this is probably for both of us. We kind of have the same one.
Poodle and I don't really get embarrassed a lot. It's
no,
very hard to embarrass.
It's hard. And we do get embarrassed when we find that we've read a room incorrectly.
Yes, because we grew up in Southern families where anything you did embarrassing was immediately telegraphed or to everyone in your family.
Yeah.
So you got used to
being embarrassed a
really
lot.
Quick.
And gay kids, y'all, you wound up being embarrassed a lot, and then you kind of became immune to it.
Exactly.
So neither of us are embarrassed very easily. I mean, look what we say on this podcast.
It's true. However, so as many of you know or maybe don't know, Jake and I have for about 10 years now, we have done every year we do a stage show.
Cabaret.
Every
year. Every year or so.
Every year or so. We use it as a fundraiser to raise money for
some gay charity.
We'll pick a gay kid charity.
Whatever.
And so what Cabaret started as our friend at the time, and we'll talk about this when we talk about...
Who kind of just wanted a cabaret show. She's like, the only thing I want for my birthday is for you guys to sing a song to me.
And so,
because we would sing all the time.
Yes. And you tell that to two gay men who are roommates, and 3 months later, you
got a full cabaret show.
A 45-minute cabaret show in their living room. We
your
got
home.
Chairs with 40 people. It's called Cabaret.
And I wrote lyrics, and I wrote numbers, and I think we
both wrote lyrics.
I think we needed stuff to do.
We needed stuff to do because
you still write some lyrics. I write the majority.
Poodle is most of it. And I make the costumes that Poodle doesn't wear because he's allergic to them because they have feathers on them.
Okay, I just need to tell this sidebar, and you can jump in here. I'm allergic to feathers, and I didn't know it until we were doing our number for Bye Bye Blackbird.
Costume tech run.
Oh, dun, 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 Bye Bye Blackbird. Very famous Liza Minnelli.
Liza Minnelli song.
And he got actual bird feathers to make us.
No, they were, I think, it was a feather fabric.
No, it was feathers because...
But it had feathers on it, yes. I paid a lot of that at F&S Fabric.
So I put it on, and immediately my throat closed up. And then this bitch said... It wasn't even concerned about my health. He's like, "What are you doing? I made that costume." And I was like, "I can't breathe. Come on, we're still going to do it. I can't breathe." So I took it off, and then we could have just done it.
Literally, my blood was in this costume.
We could have just done it in regular black dresses. This bitch said, "I'm wearing the costume I made.
I'm wearing the fucking
even
costume
though it did not match."
I didn't give a flying fuck.
That was a shitty number anyway. We never really got the choreography.
It was shitty.
It was too hard for us.
It was too hard. The choreographer didn't know our brand.
Anyway.
Which was, we're not dancers. That's our brand.
I think my dance talent is yet to be discovered.
I think it's never to be discovered.
Anyway.
So we did the show Cabaret, and we actually did a sketch. It's on our YouTube. I think it is. If it's already up there. If not, I can share it again. I think I posted it before. We do these kind of weird things in Cabaret. And
we should post this.
There's different themes. Well, the theme of this number was we were doing a flashback of the first time Poodle as a child realized he was gay.
And of course, I was a British child.
He was a British child. That makes no sense, y'all.
All I want is a boy's girl somewhere. A dainty thing who enjoys her hair.
Oh, yeah.
I'll love her boobs, I swear. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely?
And so then our friend Lindsay comes out and she's like, "You're a Nancy boy." And he's like, "No, I'm not. I'm a Butch boy." And so it all culminates with suddenly Poodle says,
I'm like, "The wind is changing."
And then we hear chim chimity, chim chimity. And
he comes down
in
Mary Poppins.
Dressed as Mary Poppers.
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppers dressed in a full that white
the Step in Time costume
with the umbrella. And our friend Bridget Green, who some of y'all remember from TV Time and her love life, our friend Bridget Green made me the perfect Mary Poppins wig.
It later on looked so awful,
but then it looked good. When I took off that hat, it was a reveal.
It was.
Anyway,
people gasped.
So I came as like a fairy godmother to teach him how to be gay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sang a song
called Gay Queen.
And it was it
was
to the tune of Sound of Music, Do Re Mi.
A boy, a homo boy, gay.
Gay. I have to do my falsetto.
Gay.
A mother's favorite son. Me, a name. You. Let's see.
Queen,
a name you call yourself. Faye, the way you like to run. So, to make a simple frock. Law, a note to follow. So,
no, and there was teabag to stimulate the cock. That will bring us back to Mo, 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 Mo. Anyway,
so that's a song.
It went on and on, and this number, y'all, went on forever.
So first of all, we get very ambitious. We need a director
that
who
was
edits
fun.
us.
Then we decided we needed to go into a spoonful of sugar.
A spoonful of semen makes the
something go down.
Makes the something
The
we said something
jism
like
go down or something.
Makes the I don't know.
But anyway,
go down.
this number, I had already felt like we were losing the audience.
We were already losing this number.
This scene was like 11 minutes long
This is
already.
not on video. Thank God.
Yeah.
We've deleted. It was already too long. They are exhausted.
And we go like, and what's more, this song.
Wait, you got to set it up.
Okay.
Where so y'all know in Mary Poppins we can sing the original
Spoonful of
lyric.
sugar.
So she's like spoonful of sugar
makes the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down.
Okay, so you know
Yeah.
that song, and so it gets to the part. You know where
It's
Mary
very-
Poppins
it's
sings
very
in the
plain
mirror?
to see.
She's in the mirror and she
Yes.
sings. She's like, and then
you'll find
and then Mary Poppins goes, cheeky.
Yeah,
and she
cheeky.
Goes, bump, bump. So we're doing this part, and the whole thing is about,
It's about sex
this song-
positivity.
This is about blowjobs. It's about
Yes.
giving blowjobs, and a semen helps the blowjob go down.
Yes.
That's what it was.
and
so
we thought
this was a flashback. So this was like in 19, supposed to be like
1983, something like that.
83. And so y'all, please don't judge us because what we're about to say is very offensive, and we know that now.
Wait, y'all,
And
it's a different time.
If you are triggered by inappropriate HIV humor, you might want to skip ahead to like 3 minutes, and we deeply apologize now.
But know that we were fiercely. Anyway, so here's what we were. And no.
Yeah, something was like, what did you say?
And no, this song was before AIDS.
Because it's
And
1983.
then I did an AIDS cadenza.
No, you did? I thought I did.
I think I did it.
And then
I went AIDS. Silence. The audience was hushed.
I mean, and it wasn't like
It
good
wasn't like a
silence.
groan. It was just
It
silence.
was nothing. It was like, this is not. And you know what? Our director, Lindsay,
told us to
told
cut
us,
it.
She was like, you
She
guys,
told
it's
us
not
it was
funny.
not. And
she said,
I even
AIDS
said,
is
no,
not
it's
funny.
funny.
We're
It's
like,
funny.
this is funny. She said,
funny.
AIDS is not funny.
And so then there was just
Don't jump on the Facebook and say that it was funny, y'all. We've already decided it's not
AIDS
funny.
is not funny.
If you think it's funny, we're deleting the comment. It's not funny.
so then
'Cause we learned this
with
the hard way.
hush. I was
So
disoriented.
Jake was disoriented, and the song, because we still had another medley to do.
There was a whole other
I forgot
medley.
what else it
What
was.
the fuck?
And so-
We have rethought this.
And so the next song starts, and Jake is so discombobulated, and
I just walk off
believe
stage.
Jake just walked off stage
I
and
left
left
you
me
on
standing on stage in the middle of the song. My face was red, and I finally was just like, and I think I said something like, "Well, just kidding, that's enough." And
I was mortified.
we were mortified. Mortified.
I've never been mortified.
That was the only time
like
I've been
that.
embarrassed on stage.
Yeah.
And
So y'all,
I've done a lot of stupid shit on
when you
stage.
have to say the word AIDS, don't, even if you sing it in a cadenza, it's not funny.
It's never funny. Not funny.
AIDS.
And if you are HIV positive or you have AIDS and you're offended by this, please know we are deeply sorry.
We are deeply
and we do not
sorry.
think we are laughing at how stupid we
We're
were.
laughing
we are
at
not
how
laughing at
stupid
the
we
joke.
were. Yeah.
So we deeply apologize.
Yeah.
But that is our
Even
most
if-
embarrassing
even the fact
moment.
that we said AIDS was stupid. We would say HIV. It was
It
ridiculous.
didn't rhyme.
Yeah.
Didn't rhyme.
It did rhyme.
It didn't. Yeah. So we had to go with the rhyme.
Anyway, I'll do
Anyway.
anything for a rhyme.
That you will do anything for
That is our
rhyme.
most embarrassing moment. Should I tell the Coma story?
And with that, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back with more of your poll questions. I feel like probably that. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, y'all.
It's not sad because he came back to life. That's why
I thought
it's
you
not
were
sad.
going to say not sad. It's not really. It's not. I think it's more of an interesting story than anything else.
It's interesting now, yeah.
I think it's interesting. You lived through it, so you're still traumatized from it.
I was on the first line of defense with his mother, so I got to know Mother Poodle very well during the
He understands. He understands everything about Mother Poodle.
I understand everything about Mother Poodle and everything about Jake.
So anyway, I had been. This is in 2014, and it had been. I used to push myself really hard. I still
You were
kinda
not
do.
good at resting at all.
Yeah, I still kind of do, but I
You also, we'll talk about this later because one of the questions y'all asked is how we got to LA and everything. So we'll talk about that. But Jake and I, this is after we were roommates for about 7 years, 8 years.
yeah, something like that.
So you lived on your own, but even
yeah, like
when we were
7 years.
even when we were roommates, I was always nagging him that he would never sleep enough. You
Yeah.
were not like you would get 5
I'm
hours
not a big
of sleep.
sleeper.
You're much more now.
I'm much better after post coma.
Yes.
But
Sorry, I won't try to interrupt you.
when I take, I'm a freelance musician, so I'm a teacher. I'm a singer. I'm doing a lot of things. And a musician, you guys know that we're always worried that the next call is not going to come.
Yeah.
So we take everything. It's kind of anybody in the gig. Take everything, kind of like me and my sex life.
Exactly.
So we're always waiting for the next gig to come in. And we're always thinking this next one may be the last one because it's just how we're conditioned. So I'm very, very grateful that in my life I can do a lot of different things. That music can be my
Well, you're
main-
also really fucking talented.
Oh, thank you.
I'll edit that out.
Please. It's not very on brand. But I was when I wear myself down, I get sick almost always, and it would be
Yeah.
like colds or something like that. But I'd never. And this was the H1N1 season.
So the bird flu? That's
no,
what that
H1
is.
swine flu.
Sorry, swine flu.
Yeah. Anyway, so, and I hadn't had a flu shot. And I kind of had a cold that this is coming back from Christmas break, 2014-ish.
We also want to say, not to freak people out now, kind of what's going on. Jake had asthma as a kid, and
Yeah.
his predisposition to like lung
yeah,
stuff
I have lung stuff. Yeah.
So that's why we're being very careful now because we want to keep him healthy.
Anyway, I had I was still coughing. My niece and nephew had given me a cold at the time when I was home in South Carolina.
Because this was January. You had come
Yeah.
back.
And
you were
I-
already sick at
I
Christmas.
was already sick at Christmas, and it had gotten worse. And I had like so many gigs in early January.
And December, because it's Christmas.
Oh, y'all! December for musicians is killer.
He's a church singer.
I was
you
a
were
caroler.
caroling.
I was doing other Christmas gigs.
Yeah, you were really busy.
It's my busiest month. So I was running myself into the ground, which is never what you think you're okay in your 30s, but y'all, here's the newsflash. Your mid 30s is when your body starts to say, "Okay, I'm not doing this anymore."
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to take care of yourself. So anyway, my cough is so bad. I finally go to my doctor around January 8th or 9th, and I'm like, this is really. She's like, yeah, you got bronchitis, walking bronchitis. So anyway, the next day, I was like, why am I achy? So I picked up something at the doctor's office. I knew that, and I'm like, I need to go back in. And then it was hard. My lungs were bad, and I was like, had tons of fluid in my lungs, and I was like, but I can still teach. I feel like I can still teach. Nowadays, I would never do that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so the next day, which was a Tuesday, I think January 11th, 12th, something like that, I went to bed. My student came to see about me, and he knows me really well, and he was like, I didn't answer the door. And so he just looked and saw my car there and said, well, that's weird. And he had a bad feeling. He knocked on one of my neighbor's doors and said, yeah, he's been coughing. He's like, I'm going to call the EMS. And
He just had a feeling.
He just had a feeling, and I'm so thankful for him.
He saved your life.
Yeah. So
And he is gayer than us put together.
God bless Tom.
God bless him.
So anyway, they finally got my. Not until the EMS came to the window when they got someone from my building with the key in here.
Of course, Jake had to have the firefighters come through his fucking window.
Ooh.
Dramatic.
Oh, fuck yes. So I was passed out in my bed. My lungs had filled with fluid. And took me to the hospital. I was dead of the world for this.
He didn't. Yeah,
And
you were at it because his oxygen. So that's actually So
you can follow the rest of it.
I was
can
at
tell you when I woke
home.
up.
I was off that day, and I was at home, and I got an email from Jake on my Gmail, but it said, "Hey, this is not Jake. This is his student. Jake was found unconscious in his bed. Here's my number. I don't have your cell phone. Call me." They took him to Cedars-Sinai. So I call him, and that's when he tells me they found Jake in the bed. Is he a doctor or his husband's a doctor?
His husband's a doctor.
So he knew a little bit of medical information, but basically that the EMS said your oxygen levels were very low, and that literally if it had been like 30 minutes, you would have had brain damage and would have been dead.
They didn't know if I had brain damage then.
They didn't know then, but like he was that close.
TBI, a traumatic brain injury. They don't know if I had it. Because when you're deprived of oxygen, you guys, you don't know how the brain dies quickly.
Exactly. So anyway, so he told me, I called him. So then I went up to Cedars, and then that was kind of like what began this. Y'all, I will say this now. This is the universe speaking to you, God speaking to you. If you do not have like not a medical consent form, I believe. And you can usually do this with your insurance provider.
I have one now.
But the hardest thing at first is that Jake was here in Cedars-Sinai and has no, especially if you don't live around your family, he had no family here. So we could not get any information of what's going on with Poodle at all. So it was, thankfully, we kind of knew somebody in the hospital that kind of slipped us some information unethically, but it was good because we were able to give them other information that helped save Jake's life and kept him and so anyway, the point of that is do that. So that was that kind of was that. And then that was the first day. And then we got to I'm talking to the doctor, who was a really cute doctor, by the way, at Cedars. And
I remember him.
The
He
brown-haired
was.
one, he was
He
very
was
cute.
my doctor for the whole time.
He was handsome. And
He kept checking in. Maybe he was in love with me.
or maybe not. Maybe he's just a good doctor.
I'm going to choose for the first one.
But we were
Thank
kind
you.
of like, what's going on? Does he just have a bad sickness? And then the doctor told us that that you were, quote, as sick as they come, that people don't get any sicker than this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I had to call your mother and tell her that she had to come out. That was probably one of the hardest calls I've ever made in my life, was telling your mother that what was going on and that you needed to come out to Los Angeles. The good thing is, though, y'all, if you're ever in a coma, you want me to be your friend because I don't freak out in a crisis.
This
I'm really
is true.
good.
She buckles down, y'all.
I am really fucking good in a crisis. So anyway,
I'm good in a crisis,
you're
too.
very good about it. So
Unless I'm unconscious.
So then I think it was the next day. The next day I picked up your mom. It was February, but she still came to LAX wearing sandals, chewing on that lip.
Y'all, my mother loves sandals and animal print.
She walked.
Usually with Disney.
She
combined.
walked. So I picked them up at the airport, and then they got in a hotel at first. That was another thing, too, is that because I got a key to your place, and I came back here, and we could tell that you were sick because I think, honestly, for like the last 3 days.
I can't remember anything.
I think you were so low on oxygen. Like he had food, he had stuff normally. Poodle's a pack rat, and I always say clean up your your clutter, but he's not food out gross.
No,
You could tell you were I was
out of it.
It was like somebody that had been on drugs.
Yeah, I was really sick.
You were just totally out of it.
Yeah.
And I had been texting with Poodle. We weren't talking because which is a good, again, if you're checking in on a friend, especially right now with everything going on, and you're texting, that's good. But maybe give them a call once in every, because if I would have heard you, I would have known how sick you were. But you were texting me, and so saying you were sick but okay. Anyway, so that's kind of where we got, and then for the next, you were in a medically induced coma for 3 weeks.
Yeah, because my oxygen levels, I had 8 ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome.
Yes.
So my lungs could not produce enough oxygen for me. So
No.
they were giving me oxygen. So I was in a coma for almost 3 weeks.
Almost 3
yeah,
weeks.
and then I just woke up because my body had healed itself.
You just woke up, or they woke you up?
No, I woke up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because your body
you out
healed
of
it enough. No, they said that now we can bring him up.
Oh, okay.
And I woke up several times from it, but I wasn't ready, and then they gave me some more stuff to go back under.
Oh, wow.
That's why I had so many weird dreams.
So that's what. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Let me talk about that, y'all. Y'all, if you're ever in a coma,
And by the way, because everybody asked Poodle, they were like, "Remember Suzanne? Did you see
you
the
see
light?"
the other side? You don't see the light necessarily. Here's what you do see. I have these weird, like, watercolor memories of people who were there. Like, I knew that you were there. I knew that Lindsay was there. I knew that Allie was there. And then random people, I knew that Tom was there. I knew that Paul Wong
Your
was
friend,
there.
your doctor, she helped a lot. The blonde
Janet was there. And the weirdest thing is, y'all, you put them in situations like you're on trains. And Janet was on a train with me. And I was a whole scenario. What?
No, I was stretching my arm.
Oh, I was like, why are you doing that with your fucking arm?
I was just stretching my arm. Did you know your mom was there too?
Yes, she was in there. My mom, my dad, my brother a little bit, and my sister-in-law. Everyone was in these kind of dreams, but nothing was in the scenario of being in the hospital. That's the thing. Your brain, your subconscious, y'all, makes up shit to protect you.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing.
I'm interested because, like, when you talk about dream interpretations from a therapeutic perspective, a lot of times we ask people, what did you feel in the dream? Because that can tell you what it's alluding to in your life. But what were your emotions in the dream?
Mostly it was about, there was a lot of random fear. I didn't really know what was going on.
And you did not, I think you said this, you did not know they were dreams. They were so vivid.
They were the
you
most
thought
vivid
they were
dreams
real
I've ever
life,
had. Yeah.
Right? Because didn't you tell me once, and please elaborate.
I had to ask my mother things.
You were
things
believed
happened.
you were in Italy?
Yes, I
and
believed.
Like you went to jail or something?
Yes, no, I believed I met John De Laurentiis. And there was a new pope. Strangely enough, I prefigured this new pope. Y'all, I came back to consciousness with all this witchy energy too.
He thinks he has a sight now.
It's creepy, actually.
Is that when you developed BDF, or was that afterwards?
No, that was as a child.
Oh,
I've always known.
Oh, yeah, since the crone took you aside.
Yeah. We've always been here, Mr. Torrance. The Shining. Come on. You've never seen that movie, have you?
I have seen it a long time ago.
Anyway, so basically, you guys, people who were there, if you were ever near a coma person, go visit them because you can sense it. Yeah, I put them all into dreams. In general, emotionally, I was working through things. Some of them I felt fear and like I felt afraid for this other person.
Your brain does that so you don't feel fear for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of times. But my subconscious brain was alive and ticking.
Wow.
And when I did wake up as a singer, I was so worried because I couldn't speak.
Because your vocal cords were separated for so long.
Yeah, with intubation.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn to speak again. And then finally I started speaking again. And then I was okay. And then I could, eat solid food again. Went to rehab.
You rehab very quickly.
Yeah. I honestly, I bounced back really fast.
You did.
And they were so worried about lasting stuff in like brain damage. I went to occupational therapy. And then my occupational therapist said, "You're fine. You're doing better at these tests than people you're performing way above."
Could you sit down and play the piano again, or did you have to relearn
Within a week I could. That's what makes the body amazing, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I have is there is a tremor in my left hand slightly from the drug. I can never remember the drug they gave me to keep me in a coma. And they say it sometimes leaves you with tremors.
But that's better with feels.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And alcohol.
And alcohol.
Anyway, that's the coma story, y'all.
That's
I went
a
through a
coma
coma
story.
and came out the other side.
He did. He came out the other side. So
I'm very grateful for life now. I'm grateful for friends. I'm grateful for family. Mostly, I'm just super careful about my health now.
I feel like you're way, way better of an advocate for yourself. I also feel like you had friends, but I feel like you were much more kind of a hermit a little bit more.
I could be, yeah.
And then, because as Poodle says, he doesn't love people a lot of times.
I hate people.
But now you realize that's important. I feel
Yeah.
like you cultivate your friendships a lot more.
I do. I try to.
So it was, so that's the coma story, y'all.
That's the coma story.
Anyway,
Come at me with your questions.
come at him with your questions. All right, what's next on our poll? I guess people want to know.
Paul.
Let's do this. Well, okay, so the coma story was number 1. However, right under that was, how did Mattie and Poodle get to Los Angeles?
Oh, God. Well, we met in college.
So we met, but Jake and I both were, I was doing an undergrad and he was doing a master's at the University of North Texas.
And again, I'm 18 months older than he is. Let
So-
that sink in.
Jake was my tenured professor.
He always says that he was doing his master's. I was in my undergraduate. I was like a child.
You know what, actually, why I say that? Because this music school we both went to in North Texas, it's one of the largest in the world. Huge. So it's kind of like, I knew who he was, but I really didn't know him.
Yeah.
And you didn't know him.
I was like, there's this fag.
Yeah, and I was like, there's this chubby lesbian. Because I literally thought that Jake was chubbier. And he had
I
these
was chubby,
round
and I
glasses.
had round glasses.
And he was clean shaven. And I thought he was a woman for like a good month. But anyway, and then so we knew one another. But then we started, we used to
We
teach.
went to an arts camp.
Yeah, we taught theater. And I did the taught
Directing
theater and
theater. I was
improv,
music
and he
direction.
did music direction. We did shows together.
We got
at
put
this
together.
arts camp in Massachusetts.
And I was
also
like,
who
is this queen?
and we realized again that we were sisters who were hoe
We
dogs
were
together.
sisters.
So we were just crew. We on Thursday night we would go to karaoke where the other camp counselors were.
Ooh.
Oh, and just cruise.
And then we decided that's when we knew we were sisters.
that's when we were sisters. So
sisters.
There were never such devoted sisters.
Blah, blah, blah.
So anyway, so how we got to LA kind of starts with me, and that my undergrad was in opera. Poodle
were
was
in
doing
Texas at the
musical, and
time.
we were in Texas.
Kind of like Dallas-ish,
Mm-hmm.
Denton, which is north of Dallas.
I was planning on moving I was going to move to Chicago with a friend because I wasn't ready to move to New York, but I wanted to pursue more musical theater. So I was going to do that. Cut to, while we were at camp, Country Music Television flew me to Toronto because I had
He was a big Shania Twain
still
fan.
am, but I got entered into a contest and I won as like Shania Twain's biggest fan, and so they flew me
I
to
think you
her.
can find this on YouTube.
I have it,
It's
yeah.
scary, y'all.
I looked like a twink.
You
And
did.
and so they flew me to her
It was
hometown.
post-jaw surgery, so it was
Yeah.
just like still thin.
Yeah, and so they flew me to her hometown, and I went to the Shania Twain Museum
It's
and
like
saw.
her glove has her sweat and
I
oils.
did say it.
And the person who is working with him, the person who
I
is
owed a
like
trouble-
showing him through, just like stares at him, is like going, "How do I get off camera?"
that she was like, "That's crazy," but it was great. It was just me and like a producer and a sound
and
guy.
she caught the bug.
And that's
She
where I
caught
realized
the bug, y'all.
I was obsessed with talk shows and Oprah Winfrey Show as a kid, but I kind of put it out of my mind because I thought, I don't know how I'd be a talk show host. I don't know how I would do
And
that.
there's no big old gay talk show host.
There's not. So at the time there wasn't. And so, but that happened, and I can't. And I was basically it was me just talking to the camera, and even the producer said, "You're really good at this." Mm-hmm. And so I came back to camp, and then our friend Lindsay was supposed to move from Orange County to L.A., and her roommate bailed out on her.
Right.
And so she was like, "What am I going to do?" And I really was thinking, I think I want to do more television. I'm supposed to move in Chicago in fucking 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But I feel called to do TV, and you can't really do TV as much in New York.
Yeah.
So last minute, I decided with my friend Lindsay, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to move to LA. And so I moved to LA with her. We were roommates in an apartment for about
The
a
Colonel.
year. We called it the apartment Colonel.
And
Jake came and visited us.
I came and visited you guys, and
he had phone sex on our floor with someone and beat off.
I'll never be able to move past that. But I came out, it was like February, and it was so cold in Dallas. And I was trying to decide
windy.
whether to go to New York or there. And I'd been spending some time in New York. And
y'all, Jake hates the cold.
I hate the cold.
He was in school in Michigan, and he hated it.
And so I was there in February. It was like 75 and gorgeous. And to be honest, like I've set foot in Los Angeles, and I was like, I'm in love with this place.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I talked, and then I was like there for a week, just like having fun. And I went back to Texas, and I was kind of really disinterested in my degree program because I was doing a PhD at the time.
He was like, Jake was that, even though
I was kind of lost.
Jake also, I have to say, Jake was actually, I know y'all think of Jake as like a shit stirrer and kind of defiant. He was actually, and I think in some ways almost more than me, you were kind of like an academic goody two-shoes. Like,
oh, very much so.
You did that. You went to high school, college, master's.
Yeah,
and you were
I did
kind
all of it.
In that.
I did high school, college, master's, second master's, PhD.
And then you realize this is a bunch of fucking noise.
It is. And also, y'all, I hated high-level academia because I was being used. By my major professor, who was basically getting me to teach all of her classes while she was on a book tour. And if you've ever been in a PhD program, this was the worst possible one to be in. And I had one faculty member who was like super anti-gay, Dr. Brothers.
Oh yeah, Dr. Brothers. Yeah,
he hated me,
and that's where
even though he's gay.
Oh yeah, which he is weird. Because when I met Poodle at that summer camp, y'all, he was dating a woman.
that was only like it was because
we fixed that summer.
But I was like bi at that moment.
Yeah, you were bi.
Yeah,
it's weird when you say the word.
It is.
But
last exit of gay town for a lot of people, y'all.
Some people really are bi, but not Poodle.
I dated one,
but not Poodle.
Mm-hmm.
No. So then he moved out. So that we had been in, I'd lived with Lindsay for about a year and a half. He moved out to L.A. about a year and a half later.
And we got a house together.
House that actually we named. The name was, we didn't name it after my grandma, but we called the house Hazel. And that's the house where we did Cabaret. And our friend Lindsay directs the Cabarets. And that's what we call her Sissy. And that's just kind of where all that came from.
And so then we just started.
Oh. You forgot to tell another major reason why you moved out of Dallas.
Okay. Oh.
You know, because you called and told me this on a phone.
So, y'all, if you've ever been, this is Bill Bullaware's story, maybe. If you've ever been in a town the size of Dallas, I'm at JR's one night. Come at me if you know JR's.
There's two gay bars. The most popular one, there's JR's and Sue Ellen's, which if you've watched the show Dallas, it's JR and Sue Ellen's.
So JR's is pretty much the biggest one. It's kind of like the Abbey for Dallas, I would say. There's
it's
a couple
a great
floors.
Bar. It was fun.
And the thing about JR's is you would kind of like, you'd talk to your friends, and I looked around this circle of gays who I was around, and I just kind of stopped dating someone at the time, and I realized, oh, God, in this circle, I have fucked everyone by proxy. In other words, I'd slept with at least 2 of them or 3 of them, but they'd slept with everybody else.
6 or 7 of them.
And then I said, I got to get out of this town because I have like sown my seed.
That's literally what he called
the town.
And said, I've got to leave. I've fucked everyone.
And
literally, he was on a moving truck out here
like
a month
weeks later.
Yeah, weeks later.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how we both got to LA, and then
I kind of making my living out here, doing what I do. Then how did we get it? You started podcasting first, and how did you get into podcasting?
Our next question, because people want to know
how do we start talking about 90 Day Fiancé?
Yes, we started. So I love talk show stuff. So I had a bad friend breakup. Like we were business partners and friends, and people have talked to us on the squad. It's like losing a relationship.
Yeah, I remember this.
And I was like, "What?" This is in 2013, and I went, "What do I want to do?" And I thought I was looking at an old journal actually, and I thought, what I really want to do is I want to have like a talk show. Well, fuck it. I'll just do it in my living room. And so I thought if Mark Maron can do it, me too. And so I started the Dear Mattie show, which was an advice podcast. And so I started that, and that was going really well. And I did like many episodes. And then I had you on. And Jake and I we'd already by then had done like 3 or 4 cabarets.
Yeah, no, at least.
And people had said to us like,
we love your chemistry together.
Y'all should do more stuff.
We love how you work together.
It's like you've been, like the same shit y'all say. It's like y'all are family who've known each other a long time. And so then I had you on the podcast, and I was like, oh, this really
works.
click. This really works. And then, long story short,
we had a producer who loved what we did.
So I have a producer, y'all. We both have. Jake and I have both been on game shows, and so an old friend who cast me in game shows years ago heard that show, and he said, "I want to make a show based off of both of you."
Yeah,
that never panned out, but
which happens.
The best thing about that is that made Jake and I realize,
it made us say, "This is what we need to do."
So after that show kind of flopped out. This was what, like 2015, 16?
Yeah, something like that. 16.
So we said, let's just start doing stuff, and we didn't know what, and we knew that, and then honestly, and we text him and stuff all the time. The reason we're doing 90 Day Fiancé and do this is honestly Ronnie.
I agree.
Because Ronnie, Karen, and I are really good friends, and Jake and he are friends now too, but Ronnie and I know each other from old improv days, from like 2006. We used to play on teams together.
Yeah.
And we were good friends, and
from
Ronnie
Crappens.
And and Ronnie kept watch what crappens. And Ronnie kept saying, "You two are so funny. Y'all should recap television shows. Right. You should pick a show to do."
He was the one who said it. Yeah.
And he even said, "Y'all should do Housewives." And I was like, "Well,
That's
do
what
Housewives.
You do.
We don't really watch those shows."
Yeah.
He was the reason why we do Southern Charm, because he was begging. I was like, "No, you do Southern Charm." He's like, "Y'all should just do it."
She's a visionary, y'all.
She is. Ronnie is
knew?
One of the smartest people I know.
I agree with that.
He is a big visionary.
She's very smart.
She is. So we honestly just started throwing shit at the wall to see what type of television.
What was the first thing
y'all
we did?
I don't know if y'all are bored now and y'all want to go do a deep dive. So we used to call our show at first
TVT time.
TVT time. And that was, we ended up changing the name. That's now our Riverdale podcast. That's the same thread. But if you go to old,
y'all, there was some really great stuff back in TVT time.
We started that I'm looking on the thing. We started that in March. March. So it's in March 2nd of 2017.
So we've been podcasting for over 3 years.
We started actually with. Did we start
Finding Prince Charming?
Oh, wait, no, before that, because Finding Prince Charming and stuff is not on here, I don't think. So, yeah.
Finding Prince Charming isn't on there?
Oh, wait, no, it is. We started with Riverdale.
Oh, we did start with Riverdale.
We started with Riverdale in March of 2017, but then we also did Feud that aired on FX.
Oh.
Y'all, if y'all need a binge-worthy show, Feud is amazing.
Feud is fantastic. We had a lot of good stuff to say about Feud. It wasn't like a funny podcast, but we did talk about a lot of stuff.
Talked about how gay it was, and we loved it.
I will heartily recommend our Finding Prince Charming.
So I will recommend 2. I will recommend our Fire Island.
Oh, yes!
Which Fire Island was a show on Logo.
On Logo, y'all, which is about gay guys just living on Fire Island. That's when we developed our style then about talking by calling people like Paul Bunyan.
Yeah,
and me calling Patrick Gay McConaughey. We developed a style.
We also,
Fire Island helped us.
We were just trying stuff, and I think we did. I know we did Finding Prince Charming, but I don't see it on here.
How? Oh my God, that's some of the grossest shit that we did.
It's true. We also did ABC's Boy Band.
Oh, that was so much fun. There's some YouTube videos about that though.
So we used to do a lot of our shows on video. It
was a lot of work, and it was a lot of makeup, y'all.
It was a lot of makeup.
A lot of ring light setups, like Rebecca.
And then we just kind of focused on Riverdale and we just did Riverdale for a while.
That dog downstairs is barking.
And then that's kind of how that worked. And then
we built Riverdale. Then we decided to do Southern Charm.
Decided to do Southern Charm, and that's the first time our podcast started doing well. And we were like, oh wow, so then we kind of narrowed
Bitchcraft.
in because we were doing Bitchcraft, but we narrowed in reality TV is what people are listening to. And then for me,
Our Sissy Squad.
It was a Sissy Squad, and it was very specifically for me, Jackie Weissman.
Yes.
Our moderator in their Facebook group.
Jackie Weissman's like, y'all need to do 90 Day
She's
Fiancé.
like, y'all need to do 90 Day Fiancé. I love this shit show. And so y'all shout out to
Bitch was
Jackie
right.
Weissman. Bitch was right.
Yo, Jackie Weissman kind of helped create all this.
She did.
I did have other friends telling me to do 90 Day.
Yes.
But
And I will say, when it came to Southern Charm, Poodle had begged me to do that show before.
I had begged you.
But I didn't want to step on Ronnie's toes and do
I
a
get
show
it.
that they recapped. But then Ronnie literally, we were just drunk one night. And he was like, why the fuck are you not recapping that? And we said,
Because
okay.
it's our brand, yeah.
So anyway, so that's how we got to podcasting. Yeah.
We have a couple of more questions. Ours are, this last one is, what do you guys fight about? First
Yes.
of all, we fight like cats and dogs on the podcast.
That's
So it's kind of normal.
We're not just being evasive. Well, that really is kind of how
We're
we
not
fight.
really bickerers. We're bickerers more than we're fighters.
Exactly. Yeah.
If I have a real problem with you, like,
You won't be around people if you have a real problem.
yeah,
with
I'll
people.
come at you.
You'll come at me, and if they don't fix it, you're like, bye.
And if I do have a problem, I'm just like, no. And then you get kind of you're like, why are you being, I'm like, no, and you'll finally understand the reason why I'm angry.
Mm-hmm.
It usually has nothing to do with the actual.
Now I know that. Now
Yeah.
I know that in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So, for sure. There was one time, though, where I maybe have overreacted.
Okay, this is back when we used to live together in a house.
It was me. So the way we lived here, by the way, so Lindsay and I lived together. Jake moved in with us in this house. And then Lindsay met her husband, and she moved out. So for like the last 4 years, I think it was just Jake and I.
No, last like 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is when we all
But
three
this
lived
is
together.
we all three lived together, and like Lindsay and I both had a habit of just like putting the ice trays there and like putting it in the ice like repository, and like just kind of leaving it sometimes, like doing a half ice tray and then putting it.
Not to be shady, but. And I'm probably giving too much of that. They were the messier roommates, and I was a little bit more of a clean freak.
I wash dishes like nobody else's business.
Jake washed dishes. That's about it, unless I would bug him about it. I remember once, I've never told you this, actually. This is a total secret, and I've never told you this.
I love
ever.
this being introduced on a podcast. Sure.
When my mother came one time for Thanksgiving, I wanted Jake and Lindsay to clean, but I had such a problem back then with asking things of people. So I told y'all that I'd hired a housekeeper and that she would clean your rooms. And you remember that? And so y'all did?
Yes.
I actually cleaned the house myself.
Wow, y'all. That just tells you how passive aggressive some people can be.
I am not like that now, but I used to be like that. So anyway.
You have owned your power a lot more. You used to be so afraid of pissing people off.
Honestly, you have helped me a lot because you were the type of person, you would have walked all over me if I didn't.
I
don't
would
mean that in
have.
a bad way. I mean
No.
like you're just personality.
No, I have a
I had to
very
learn to-
strong personality.
And Jake would
Yeah.
get really angry when he would see other people walk all over me.
I
He
would. I'm saying, what are you doing? Why are you letting them do that to
or
you?
sometimes he would pull me aside like he'll say his mother does. Well, he'll say, you don't let them do that. And
Yes.
I'm like, what the
Stop
fuck
it.
are you doing? But then when I would like go back at him, he'd be like, oh. Anyway.
Yeah.
Good friends help you be a better person.
Anyway,
But
so
anyway.
we would like, and I remember one time I just heard screaming, "Who didn't fill out the ice trays?"
Okay. I'd had a really, really long day.
I mean, what does it take
I
for
was-
people to fill up the ice trays?
I was
And then they threw the ice trays on the floor, and both
I
Lindsay
did.
and I stared at each other, and we couldn't even say anything because we'd never heard him freak out like that.
It was really hot. It was like we don't have air conditioner in his house. My boyfriend will attest. I'm just a horrible person when I'm hot. And I just wanted a cold Dr. Pepper.
It was scary.
I literally slammed the door
Like-
shut, and I just came in that living room yelling.
I was scared. I was
it was
honestly
not-
scared.
That's the only time we've ever had. I
I
apologize
don't scare.
later.
I don't scare very easily. And Lindsay and I were both like this.
I'm still that way to this day. I don't get mad a lot, but when I get really, really mad, it's not good. I've only been mad like that maybe like
The thing about
4
it
times
is
in my
you
life.
don't let your anger out enough.
I think I do it more now.
Maybe you do.
Now that I'm editing, doing more, I get really mad at technology, and it feels good. And then
because I let mine out so often that I don't need to like freak out over
Yeah.
things.
I manage it much better. I haven't like yelled
It's
about
not
something
about
like that.
managing; it's about letting it out.
Well, yeah, that's the same word. I'm using the same word.
You could be better at it. Anyway.
Anyway, that's the ice tray story.
That was the scariest moment of my life.
Jesus.
It was terrifying.
Not the coma.
No, it was absolutely terrifying. I felt like we were going to be murdered. It was terrifying. And I'm not afraid of this bitch because normally I run all over her. That I felt terrified.
Oh, okay. Last question, y'all. Sorry for the other ones. We'll do them next time. But the last one that got the highest vote was y'all are always complaining about children's name. What would your kids' names be?
Ooh, a good one.
I know this one already because I used to want to have children. I don't know if I want to now, but I already have their names.
That sounds so sad.
I did. I was like, I know what I want.
Okay, let's go back and forth. Boys' names.
Boys' name. I have a couple, but the names I actually like the name Henry, Harry. I like the name.
I like Henry and Harry.
I like the name
I thought
George.
I was going to be able to read your names, but I
No,
like them.
I like old school.
Oh!
Now, I also do because my father's name is Chelsea. I like names like Kelly for a boy or Leslie for a boy.
Very Irish names.
I like
names.
those those kind of like female gender that are.
Your gender queer names.
I like those too. What about boy names for you?
Oh my God! I was going to read you for yours.
What names did you think I was going to choose?
I thought you were going to say basic names like Jason, and I thought you would have basic answers because you're so basic. Y'all, she basic. She really is. Anyway, I love names like you said, Harry. I love the name like Harrison.
Ooh, I love that name too.
I love for boys. I love the names like strong names like Zeke, like Ezekiel.
I like that name. I like that name. Isaiah, that's a pretty name.
Yeah, I love any biblical name, basically.
So you would, though, if you had a son, you would name him James something.
Yeah, this is the thing. In my family, well, now my brother's done it, so I don't need to do it.
Oh.
It's the firstborn of every generation has to name I'm the 14th, and my nephew is now the 15th of in the South, we often name our children by their first names, and they go by their middle names, oftentimes men. So my grandfather is James Perry.
Oh, I like Perry. That's a pretty name.
Perry Anthony, and he went by either Jim or Perry. And my father is James, unfortunately, Billy, because my grandmother loved the name Billy.
My mom was married to a guy named Billy. That was popular.
And not William.
No,
Billy.
Billy.
And my father hates when people mention his name. So he either goes by Jim or James B.
Oh, okay. I like James B.
He hates being called Billy.
What does your mom call him?
Jim.
Okay.
Or Jace, which is what my youngest nephew's name.
So, and then Poodle is James.
I am James Jacob, named after my great-great-grandfather, James Robert Jacob, who was a wife abuser, I found out later, who was a terrible person.
Okay.
But he was supposedly a very influential person.
And then your nephew is James Chase.
My nephew's name is James Ingram Anthony, as in
somewhere
out there, if love can see us through,
love can see us
we'll live together somewhere out there, out where dreams come true. That song, if that doesn't make you cry, you're not human, fuckers.
Kind of appropriate now.
Right?
Right.
Fievel was a big queen.
Big queen.
Anyway.
What about girl names?
I love classic names. You should go first.
Why, you think you're going to read me again?
I was going to try to.
So for
no, yeah, I can go.
Okay.
I love names like Elizabeth.
Okay.
I love Elizabeth. I love names like old Irish names like Maureen.
I like Maureen. That's a pretty name.
And Estella.
That's pretty.
Yeah. The names that I'm likely to not respond well to are names like the Evas, things like that end in vowels. I don't really love them.
Oh, I do like the name Ada. I do like that
I like
name.
Ada. It's okay. I just like everything old.
I do too.
Yeah. I even love things like names like Irma. And
I like names like that too.
I'm trying to think. I'll come up with it later. But I love my mom's name. My mom's name is Victoria.
Oh, I love Victoria.
Yeah.
I have a cousin named Victoria.
All right, dogs outside.
Dogs outside.
That's all I have, kind of.
All right. I like old names too. I like I kind of probably my top just because I have a really good friend who her name is Julie and her middle name is Anne, and so I always like the name Julianne.
Oh, I like that.
I like the nickname
Yeah.
Jules. I like the name Georgiana or Georgina, and you call them Georgie.
Georgina, yeah.
I do like the name Hazel. That's my grandma, and I love the name Maybelle. But I don't know.
It's country. No,
That's so
I'm
country.
putting my hand up there.
And so I don't. I love the name May, but I don't know anybody. I didn't know.
I like May.
I said that once to somebody, and there's like, I said I like the name May, and my grandma's Maybelle, and they said that's a name for Asian people, and I went, well, a name's a name.
I like May.
I know. I like May too. I think it's pretty. Why does it? I didn't like that when they said that to me.
I'm really upset because I was going to regale your names for being basic.
No,
and they're not.
Like we have a friend, our friend Lindsay. Her daughter's
name is June,
and we love that name.
It's a great name.
It's great. So yeah, or like Jane. I love the name Jane.
Yeah, me too.
So
how did we agree on this? I'm actually angry. I'm angry.
Now people will say we should have children together.
Yeah.
He'll teach the children to kill me in my sleep and be against me for the rest of my life.
That's what I will have.
Well, y'all, this has been our Q&A.
This has been our Q&A.
I hope you've enjoyed it. We feel we feel like it's boring because we're just talking about us, but I guess y'all like it.
Well, I've exposed myself to half the county.
There, didn't want to say it, but we should. So we're a couple more things, and then we got to sign off because it's getting close to midnight, and I got to get my ass home. But while we're locked down, but thank y'all so much. We know we appreciate you jumping into this bonus episode. We're going to have more content coming from you. 90 Day will be, we will have that show on a regular time on Monday. So it might be in person. It might not be, but it'll be there. You can listen to, we just dropped last week a Sabrina episode.
Yeah, no, 2. Oh. Well, a combo episode.
Episodes 3 and 4. We probably will be finishing that
see,
out now.
Because we got a lot of time.
We got a lot of time. And also a lot of gay stuff happened and the show got better.
Yeah.
So
a lot of S&M.
Sabrina's coming up. We've got that's coming up, and you guys, if you want to, we just talked about. You can go if you want to binge a lot of our older show. Go to our Riverdale, our Rivermails podcast,
and you can see
if
all
you
the previous.
Scroll back to the earlier episodes.
Keep
scrolling. You'll see all the stuff we talked about with Finding Prince Charming.
All the Riverdale, all the reality show stuff happens before Riverdale.
I recommend Feud isn't necessarily as funny, but I recommend you watch
Fire Island is worth listening
to. I don't think Fire Island's worth listening to, and I do recommend that y'all watch Feud, binge that, and then maybe even listen to it.
I don't know if that's on Netflix. I don't know if it is.
I bet it's on the FX app.
Definitely.
Man, it was so good. Very satisfying finale. So you can check out all that. If you want all that information, you can go to our website, sissy.talk.com. Y'all have been coming at us with the Patreons to cheer your loved ones up. We love that. We're going to do one actually after we end the show. So come at us with your Patreons. Yeah. The links are in there.
And y'all remember, the only way out is through, as Winston Churchill said.
And as RuPaul says, come through.
Come through. And you know what? What RuPaul also says? If you can't love yourself, how in the
No,
hell
you
you gonna
gonna
love
love-
anybody else?
Amen to that.
Amen.
everybody. So, y'all, we're not going anywhere. We're here for
We're
you.
here.
You've got it. And like we say when you leave an Apple Podcast review, the only thing we can do is keep
Going
Queen.